maybe. Good afternoon and welcome to Titan Talk. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Today I've got myself, Captain Coop, and we have our wonderful talent, Mr. Major McFarland.
Good afternoon.
So
Happy
if you guys
Monday.
haven't noticed, we made a couple of little changes to the podcast on how this looks. Kind of want to know what you guys think. Do you guys prefer this way where you'll have me on my own camera and
There
we
it
have
is.
Mr. McFarland on his own? Or do you guys prefer it the old way where we were sitting next to each other and bickering and arguing next to each other? So let us know what you guys think in the comments. We appreciate it. Naylor, good to see you.
Yeah, what am I, Gary? Chopped liver?
Thanks, Gary. Glad to hear from you.
Nobody knows I'm here. I'm hidden behind the camera. I kind of like it. It looks a little bare. I'm looking at it here. It looks a little bare over there, but hold on. Let me make sure I turn that down.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nice. Good job.
Okay, coming from... Oh, yeah, you're not even on silent.
Yeah, I am.
Lucky. No, it's not bad. Like I told everybody, Coop smells like beef and cheese, so it's nice to be on this side.
What are you
of
talking
things.
about? Why do you got to do
smell
this
like
to me?
beef and cheese.
I'm going to throw water at you.
Exorcism.
So today we wanted to talk a little bit about managing expectations. So this can range from any number of things as to expected schedules, clients, everything and anything. What to expect while you're at a job, what you're doing when you're there, everything that way. Just kind of wanted to breach this a little bit and have a little bit of a conversation. We have in the past, but it's always good to kind of go back and talk about things and make sure that we are transparent, I guess is the way to say it.
Sure.
Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, I'd say we're pretty transparent. I'll talk a little bit about how I am basically my ends with clients. As far as most of that interaction for me, I still interact with the officers. I'm never not going to. That's the reason why I kind of, took this position and kind of picked the route that, the way I was, the way I was going through. As far as my career path here was teaching, instructing, helping officers, trying to make their lives a little better than mine was prior, and if everybody does that, everybody's quality of life gets better. You get more people here, and they get to see kind of this family we've built, and establish that level of transparency with, hey, if you take this position, responsibility will double. Your pay will get a little bit better, but it's usually a lot more responsibility with a little bit of pay, and usually a few more freedoms. As far as you don't have to punch in and out. If you're a salaried employee, you kind of come and go as you please to an extent. But that portion, and then again, my interaction with the clients of, hey, we're human beings. We're going to make mistakes, but we're really good at fixing them. We're really fast at fixing them, and that's kind of
It's funny.
been our bread and butter is our speed and quality with our clients, and telling them, hey, there's a reason for why we do things the way we do, and we've kind of developed a recipe that breeds success, and so we continue to do that.
Louis, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but you guys let me know.
I'm terrible at sports.
It says we get to see him from his face in HD.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
So it's
Devin,
funny
that's a
you were
good
saying
thing,
something about that a little bit ago.
I prefer blurry.
About choosing the path that you have into the role that you're in now. One of the things that I knew when I started, I wouldn't say I knew, but about a couple of months in, I knew that I wanted to be a supervisor because I wanted to try and change the life of the officers, because the life that I had was not miserable, but it was definitely a painful existence. Mind you, we were much smaller. There was much more detail orientated about certain things,
Right.
and so things were a lot more difficult. We didn't have all this technology where you could write your reports on your phone and things like that. It was all handwritten. And back when I started, you had to fax your reports in.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. It also helped that I was in a different city, 45 minutes away, so it's not like somebody could just come swing by and pick them up.
Yeah.
So I had to fax my reports in, and it was all handwritten. And if they couldn't read your handwriting, then they were sending it back going, hey, you got to redo this, and because this is horrible.
I don't have the best. I sometimes find myself leaving myself a note, and I'll be like, oh, what does that say?
But it's funny,
I'm a sticky note guy.
A couple of months in, I knew that I wanted to be a supervisor because I wanted to do everything I could to change that and make everybody's lives easier. At what point would you say that you kind of made the decision that, hey, being, the field isn't necessarily it's my strong suit, but I've found a better way, and I think I know how to help the officers improve their lives and make things better, at what point would you say that kind of breached over for you?
To be completely honest, when I got my promotion for sergeant in field operations, this was many moons ago. It was a 1600 to 0 shift, so primo shift. I love that shift. And Fridays and Saturdays off. And so I remember, because I saw it come across, I was really content with being a patrol supervisor, patrol corporal. I really liked it. I got to come in, grab my patrol bag, get the briefing from the day corporal, because it was the same hours, but I had like Tuesday, Wednesday off. I didn't have Friday, Saturday off. And basically just go out, run my route, go visit with officers, respond to calls, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But then they were like, well, there's this sergeant position coming open, and it's Friday, Saturdays off, same hours you already work. And I was like, sign me up. I'll definitely interview for it. So I did, and I remember sitting with Leon and our HR representative at the time. She doesn't work for us anymore, so I won't say her name. But and basically, I'd say I killed it. Did pretty good. Leon had recently rode with me, and
You guys can't see me, but I just rolled my eyes at him.
Leon recently had ridden with me, and kind of was like, "Hey, this is some things you're really good at," and talk about that. I've never been one that, believe it or not, never one that's very good at talking about myself.
He's really not.
I just don't. Not my thing. It comes off gross. So I've always kind of been not the best interviewer, and so he gave me some pointers, and I did that. And I remember at the very end, I look at him, and I go, so this is 16 to 0, Fridays and Saturdays off, and they're like, for now, yeah. And I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, schedules could change. We don't really foresee anything. 4 weeks later, there was basically, I wouldn't say we were forced, but there was a structure change to where I went to like 6 lieutenants out of like we had like, I think 8 supervisors at the time. And it was like, well, we're going to 6 lieutenants. And you might have been on the TM side at this point, weren't you? I think you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were doing stuff over here for a while.
Well, I'd been a scheduling manager. I mean, at that point, I'd been a scheduling manager for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. But I think you'd gone to the T. I don't remember exactly the time frames, but super humble. I try. And so anyway, long story short, we're sitting there, and I'm like, well, so my life's going to change because I'm either going to get demoted, because there's 8. It was 8 because 2 people did get demoted, and they didn't take it well. I'm pretty sure they both quit. There was 8 people, 6 positions. And so I think we were offering maybe like a site supervisor spot or whatever. And so I interviewed for it. And I remember at the very end of that interview for the lieutenants, they go, who do you think is going to get picked for what? Because there was 2 admin lieutenants, 2 field lieutenants, and then maybe it was just 4 out of 6. I can't remember. But I had picked, and to be humble again, I was right except for 2 that they switched.
Yeah.
And they ended up actually both either quitting or getting demoted because they weren't good at those positions. And so that was kind of where I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm bragging, but
that's the point.
Yeah. I've kind of got an eye for where people need to be. I've got a very
overview.
Yeah, like, very coach vision, if that works.
Yeah.
Or the vision of a coach when it comes to assembling a team. And so we took this test. I'm sure you took it about a year and a half ago that our director, Kyle Stout, made us take. Basically like a weird, I always call it the hierarchy of Maslow's needs, which is a test that we went over. And basically it's just what you need to survive in nature, and as a joke, but it's basically like an aptitude, kind of like how your brain's wired. Yeah. And my first biggest strength was team building. And so I've kind of noticed that. And then when I bought in was pretty much right around that lieutenant time where me and Ortiz were partners. And then not long after, me and Roses were partners. And so I started building these relationships with these guys here at the office. And I started realizing, hey, I kind of got a knack for putting people where they need to be. And so I knew that kind of a account management or a supervisor for field operations is where I needed to go. As much as it can be a pain in the butt sometimes, just because you're managing people, and you can get, let down when you put a lot of stock in people. which I've done plenty of times, and that's not ever going to stop. I'll continue to do it, and I'll continue to be let down by some people that I trust and put responsibility in. But that's just part of the gig, And so when you're managing people, there's the human element there.
Right.
So it takes special people to do it, and so I'll continue to do it for everyone here as long as I can, and as long as I'm healthy and God willing. But yeah, that's that, and I don't go crazy from dealing with people. So it's funny because my wife's she's a people person. I'm more of an introvert. I like kind of keeping to myself, and I wasn't always like that. In college, I was a very people person. I had a new thing I heard from my younger cousins that's called FOMO. It's fear of missing out. I'm the opposite of that. If I hear about something I missed out on, I'm like, oh yes, I avoided that. I didn't have to go do that. But
hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me that I wasn't there when that happened?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, exactly. And so we joke around. My brother-in-law, he has a hard time telling people no when it comes to like, hey, we've got this get together. We'd like for you to be there, and I'll be like, I got plans or something.
I've excelled at saying no to that stuff.
But he can't say no, and so he'll overextend himself, and so it's called FOMO, fear of missing out, and so I deal with people all day, and that can be taxing, and so I'll go home, and my wife gives me a hard time a lot because she's like, well, you just don't want to sit and talk, and I go, no, I don't. I want to sit here and stare at the wall for 20 minutes, and then I'll have some energy. But I've gotten better at it when I go home. We have some tough days here.
What's funny is I just had a conversation with almost the exact same conversation with a friend of mine who's kind of gotten on my case because I don't come out and hang out as much as I used to. And so I was like, you're not wrong, and I'm trying to get better about it. But it's just dealing with as much as that we deal with. Sometimes it just feels like I've overextended myself. And it's like I need time to breathe, and I need time to kind of sit there and rest up and manage those expectations of my personal life and my work-life balance. So I completely understand that whole needing to take a break and stare at the wall for 20 minutes. But yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, and you have to. I was scrolling social media the other day, and there's this book page. I could probably pull it up, but basically said, you need to give yourself time to transition from that to home life, and I'm the first person to sit here and tell you I'm not always good at it. Sometimes it's just I get home, and me and Shanae have gotten in arguments over it because I'm like, hey, just give me a minute. And I read something today which stuck with me. It said, don't ever greet anybody with a to-do list. And I was like, holy smokes, like that's, you don't really think about it, but if the first thing you say to somebody in the day is, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this, like, how do you expect them to take that? It's just, that's draining. You're already sucking energy out of it.
That's what you do to me every day.
Yeah, but you don't count. Work's different. Work's different. Good morning. All right, here's business. Let's move on. But when let's say I'm Shanae's coming home from work and I've been home or whatever, I've tried to get better at letting them get in, get out of their work clothes, or let her get in, or me, or whatever the situation may be, whether it's her or I, and give each other kind of that room,
that space.
Yeah, that I've seen it work, and so that's why I know, or at least I need to continue to try and get better. And it's something for the officers too that you guys can take away is when you get off a long shift, especially you guys that are still in the field, which most of you are, and you've been dealing with people all day, to communicate that with your significant other to, hey, I need about 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. And a friend of mine, because I posted on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and a lifelong friend of mine, she's actually the mother of a friend of mine who's like a family member to me, like an aunt, I guess, messaged on there that her and her husband, they've been together for like 50-some years. And she said that when he gets home from work, he goes into the bedroom, gets out of his work clothes, and he stays in the bedroom until he's ready to kind of face the next chapter of the day, which is home and dinner or school or homework or whatever, or practice, And so that's someone like that that's been doing that, and that's their recipe for success. That's something I listened to. I was like, maybe I should try that. And so I said, yeah, I'm not always the best at it. Some days I kind of hit the ground running when I get home because I got stuff to do, but I've seen it work. So it's a good practice to have. So.
Yeah. And again, going back into managing the expectations.
Yeah.
I have a very similar process, although it's just me at the house.
Right.
So I don't have a
We need to get you a fish.
I don't want to fish. Fish.
It's low maintenance.
They die so easily.
Well, no, because people overfeed them all the time. That's what I've heard. Like, here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
Just sit there with the.
I had one in college. They would put like little gummies in there. I'd come back, my fish tank would be all moldy.
Flipped upside down, mold next to it.
I think we named him Cooper. I don't remember.
Thanks.
I flushed him down the toilet.
That's even better.
Yeah.
He's probably still alive. He probably didn't actually die.
I thought about that, or he went through like a grinder. And
anyway.
Every once in a while it pops in my head and I feel bad. R.I.P. college fish.
Never. But no, it's, I have kind of a very similar process. I get home and I take about 10 minutes to kind of I'd say decompress and just sit there and be like, okay, change out of my work clothes, relax a little bit and sit there. Okay, what do I got to do at the house now? And take 10, 15 minutes and just, even though it's just me at the house and it's not like I don't have a significant other waiting there. Oh, hey, I need these chores done, or hey, I need help with this. It's just me. So it's one of those, I got to sit there and be like, you know what? I got to get out of work mode and get into personal mode. And here's what I got to get done. And, just take that healthy break to kind of get yourself squared away.
Of course. That stuff's important. Just to even communicate with yourself, which is like, hey, I'm going to let myself get out of this mode and go to the other one. I'm probably the worst at that. Sorry, it's a client.
You're fine. But yeah, so I mean, that's the expectations of managing them, those at home and everything. And then you've got expectations of what you got to do at work, and you got to be able to do the exact opposite in reverse.
Yes.
As you're going into work, you got to be able to put yourself into that work mode. And, and I do the same thing as I'm waking up, I'm getting dressed, I'm getting as I'm accounting for all of my work items, because I take my laptop and everything home. And then, if I need it or something, I'll have it set up on my little desk and everything. In the morning, as I'm getting ready for work, I make sure I have everything. I'm sitting here as I've got my laptop, my charger, my keys, my stuff. I'm putting myself in that work mode, in the exact opposite direction of when I get home.
Yeah.
It's just, here we go. Here's my checklist for work today. Here's what I got to get and make sure I have and be ready for the day. And so and then on my way in, I'm doing the next prep. Hey, what are the emails I saw this morning? What am I doing here?
Yep, I've kind of got the same thing. I'll wake up and I check emails. Then I go, get cleaned up, take a shower, get all my stuff ready. I've got kind of set places for everything. Luckily, my wife is very organized and OCD, so everything has a place.
Yeah.
She likes to redecorate a lot, but she always makes it very clear this is where kind of your work clothes get laid out the night before.
Has the bowl of pink Starburst returned?
The bowl did not to start. Well, there's a bag of pink Starburst, but the bowl's got something else in it.
They're not sitting in there right now?
Now it's past Valentine's Day. She's already got St. Patrick's. No, Easter. I just looked right at that light. Ouch. That one's really bright.
Yeah, I've done that more than a few times.
Gosh, dang it.
I'll get the camera off you so you don't have to suffer with that too.
No, it's okay. I can handle it. I've done worse. I ate a 5,000 million Scoville unit pepper here the other day. It was terrible.
So, and then you've got the work expectations of your schedule, and dealing with something that I've dealt with. I've been scheduling for Titan, I think, for 9.5 years now, I think. I had a couple of little stints when I first started. I obviously wasn't doing it, and then I had my little break while I was at TM. But I think in grand total, I've been doing Titan scheduling for almost 9 years now. And the biggest thing that I've run across that I get with managing expectations with that is whether it's a new officer or a long-term employee, every now and then I'll get that, I want banker's hours. That Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And as much as I'd love to be able to say there's a ton of them out there, in this industry, though, it's just
a unicorn.
it's so rare.
It's a Sasquatch riding a unicorn sighting twice
don't get me
in
wrong,
one day.
they exist. You'll get those at some schools. You'll get that at some of the businesses and stuff like that,
or banks, literal banks.
The funny part about that is generally when you come across those, like we have them here at our offices. We have those guys that have the Monday through Friday schedule, and they're great schedules, but there are just extra qualifications that not a lot of people have. Generally speaking, when you get those Monday through Friday, they're looking for extra stuff, whether you've got, and this is just examples. This isn't saying if you have it, this is what a guarantee it is, but just examples. They're looking for, EMT certification, or they're looking for CPR with AED. They're looking for ex-law enforcement, and stuff like that. And just some things that the basic candidate's not going to have when they come in. And managing that expectation of coming into a new industry or an industry you've never worked in before and having that, it's very real, because I've had that conversation with people where they'll come in like, I have to have Monday through Friday, and it's like, I would love to give you Monday through Friday, but they're not here.
Yeah,
and being able to manage that between yourselves and knowing that, hey, I might not get that, or I might have to make an exception, or I might have to waver a little. It's the kind of reality of it, because when I first started, my first post was 12-hour days, and they were 6P to 6A.
Yeah, out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, I mean, and the thing is, those of you that are wanting to move up or take on kind of leadership roles or supervisory positions, there's a pretty, I can't think of any of them that don't really, not that you work 24/7, 365. Obviously, nobody does, but at least availability or the option to. I've worked overnights, I've worked evenings, I've worked days, and I still, to this day, do not have a Monday through Friday schedule.
Does it say
I'm here at the office Monday through Friday. I usually get here between 7:30 in the morning, and I'm here till whenever the stuff gets done. Some days I can leave at 2. Some days I have to leave at 4 or 5. I just worked and I did a active shooter training out in Topeka for one of our clients, and it was during their staff meeting, so it was after their day, and so it was at 5:30 in the evening, and Topeka is very far from my house, so I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock, and they were super grateful. It was a little heavy at points. It was the Thursday after what happened at the parade, so it was fresh on everybody's mind, and we had some people that were a little shook up because of what we talked about, but and not even to go off into that diatribe, but there's things you got to do for the gigs. I've worked so many Saturdays. I mean, I know you take phone calls every weekend. I teach class for de-escalation on Saturdays for clients for free. Leon and I'll usually go grab maybe a margarita and some queso to kind of reward ourselves. But thanks, Ryan Smith. That's
fine. I didn't want an invitation to that or anything.
It's a Saturday. The last thing I want to do is bother somebody on a Saturday, especially after a long, work week. But that's just things we've done as supervisors. That's the chief of security working a Saturday. Missing his son's game.
And in this industry, if you're wanting to become a supervisor in this industry, that's something you have to understand. Is same thing. I've been with this company for. I'm going into my 11th year now, and that's crazy to think about on its own separate thing. But I don't think I've had a Monday through Friday schedule the entire time, and I have that weekend availability to where if my team needs me and they need the help, I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna help out.
Yep.
Whether that be a Saturday or a Sunday or evenings or overnights. I've had the moments where I've gotten that call at 1 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, I don't know how to handle this, or hey, I need help.
And if not, just think of, the mess, that you walk into. Like, I'm going to Mexico next weekend, or this coming weekend, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cancel that, by the way.
Yeah, no, not happening. And I'm gonna find ways to kind of check in every couple of days for emails because I'll have over 1,000 emails.
Oh yeah, you'll come back from a vacation like that where it's you come back from I went to New Orleans. I have a more recent one that I've been a little bit more bringing up a little bit more. My father, when I was dealing with him, with his loss, I got yelled at because I was attempting to try to work while dealing with all of that, and I'm still trying to log in and check emails and keep myself, because if I hadn't have done that when I came back, that was 3 weeks in total. The first 2 were together. I would have come back to 2,000, 3,000 emails just sitting there. I never would have dug myself out.
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's just easier to keep chipping away at it than let it build up.
Yeah,
it's just a good practice, and it's just part of it. People will say like, "That's crazy." You need to be able to unplug and.
You can. And that's the thing is that's kind of the.
But not really.
That's us managing our expectations of it. Back when I took a trip to New Orleans with some friends, and I kind of made the deal that I would check my email twice. I'd check it in the morning before we left to go do something, and then I'd check it when I got back to the hotel we were staying at. And during that time frame, or in between those two times, I was completely disconnected.
Yeah.
I didn't get any phone calls. I didn't respond to emails, anything like that. And so when you're saying, you can't completely disconnect, yeah, true. That's true. But at the same time, if my activities are 8 o'clock in the morning when they start, I wake up at 5, I check my emails real quick, make sure there's no mass emergency,
right,
and log out of that, and then bam, I go do my event stuff. I take all the way until 10:30, and then I come back, take a quick look, make sure there's nothing pressing, and then I move on, go
Yeah.
to sleep, rest up, and do it again. I mean, that's how I've kind of, me personally, how I've dealt with that. And I'm not truly disconnecting, no, but I'm taking, 10, 12 hours where I'm
Right.
not responding and I'm disconnected.
Yeah, I was telling the guys yesterday. Major Ortiz will kind of take Saturday's reports and kind of business, and then I kind of take Saturday off a little bit more to where I'm not doing that part. I mean, still taking phone calls and stuff, but
As needed.
and then exactly. And then Sundays, I did the reports, and this last Sunday I woke up, kind of did some house chores, cleaned up a little bit. Was just messing around the house, and Leon calls me and kind of briefs me because he always gets ready to go to St. Louis on Sunday. So he's there for the start of the week. And we're talking, and all of a sudden we decided, my wife and brother-in-law and sister all decided we're going to go to brunch. We went to brunch, and we went across the street to this other place to have a dessert and have a drink afterwards. And, they've got the new baby, so it's nice getting out and getting some sun and walking around. And we get back to the house, and brunch is very carb heavy, and I just started dozing off on the couch, and I literally napped like the entire afternoon. Woke up, had dinner, and then went to bed, and I completely forgot to do reports. So I got in, and Captain Voss will have, he's back to the grind on Monday. First thing, he gets here probably like 4 or 5 in the morning and starts digging in. And so I was like, dude, I owe you lunch. Like, I'm sorry. And he goes, no, it was his weekend, so he was doing them already. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, I felt terrible. I was like, dude, that's not like me. I remember waking up. I woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and was like, oh, crap, I didn't do the reports. So...
No, we all have those moments.
I get fired. Can I get back?
We all have those moments.
Mr. Mills, I had heard that there might be some talk of that. So if you need to, I think you got my personal, shoot me a text or email
Mills,
me.
you've got mine. You're welcome to call me.
Yeah, we might be able to work something out.
But we all have those moments where you kind of lose yourself in the moment of relaxing and resting. And
I was always a fan, Mills. I was always a fan.
So I can't say I've never had one of those moments. Everybody should know at this point, at least I hope, I'm an avid video game player outside of work.
I tried to this weekend. I got.
I got a.
You can just like phantom talk me, or so you don't have to see my
No,
face.
I want people to see the game again. Admit that he's playing games.
I tried, so there's a difference. I tried. I played Madden, so I have the Game Pass. I don't really buy new games, but Madden 24 is on the new Game Pass, or the new Madden, which is Madden 24, is on the Game Pass now. The season's over, so I downloaded it, played it for a little bit. It's pretty good. The graphics are crazy, and I don't even have the newest Xbox. I don't know if it's Xbox One or X or whatever, the newest Xbox 5, whatever they call it. I feel like an old man saying that, and
Feel like.
Yeah, and so they also have this game called Hell Let Loose, which is like a World War II simulator.
Yep.
Great idea. There's so much that I need to learn, but I want to be able to, so I drop into this map. I'm used to Call of Duty, which I don't like anymore because there's too many, there's 12-year-olds on crack. Just running, jumping around, they slide, and they have, basically SMGs that are effective up to hundreds of yards away, and it's just not realistic. And so, but I get it. It's an arcade game. It's not a simulator at all.
Yeah.
That's why I told you that Ready or Not game. I don't have a PC, though, so I'm kind of up creek without a you-know-what. And basically, I tried to play Hell Let Loose, so I got dropped into this huge map. And I'm just running in the snow, and I don't even know what side I'm on.
Yeah.
There's red and blue. I had what appeared was like a Russian SMG, so maybe I was on the Allied side. I don't know. And I'm just running through the snow, and the graphics are cool, and it's very simulator, everything's realistic. Yeah. Except I was sprinting for a good 5 minutes, and I was never fatigued, which it's very hard to shoot a gun after sprinting for that long. Let alone 5 minutes, even a quick 30-second sprint, and your accuracy's gonna. And that's me nerding on weapons, not really games.
Yeah.
But, and then I got killed. I got out of nowhere. I had no idea where. And so I'm just that. It's so discouraging. They need to make those simulators a little more user friendly because I couldn't even get in the tank. There's a tank rolling by, and I ran up to it, and they're like, "You're not equipped. You don't have the right loadout." I'm like, "What? No. Let me get in the tank.
Let me sit in the gutter seat.
Yeah, give me a ride. My guy's tired, even though he's not really tired in the game. But
let me just hop on the back and let you drive."
So yes, I agree, Brian. My little brother was talking about that. He's a big gamer. He said that new Helldivers is pretty cool. But yeah, so that's the thing.
Devin was saying, I wonder if Coop has played that. I have not. I have a couple of friends that want me to join them. They play it.
It looks like
start playing
Star Wars
It
and
looks.
Call of Duty put together.
I would. Do you ever? What was that movie? There was a movie that came out about bugs, like alien.
Oh, Starship
bugs.
Troopers?
There you go.
They actually have a Starship Troopers game.
Yeah, I know, but that's what it reminds me of.
Oh,
It's
so
more-
you're shooting like aliens?
Mhm.
It looks like, who's the guy from Star Wars they made the Disney spinoff of?
Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's what they look like. The little characters I've seen look like the little helmets, and they look like they're space aged. I honestly haven't seen much of it, but I was reading an article on the way into work at a stoplight. I was not texting and driving, but I was reading an article, and they said that basically people were getting on the game and not getting off, so their servers got filled,
Yeah.
and like people could not play.
Yeah,
That's how popular it is.
I've
Heard nothing but good things.
I've
about
had a few friends that play that have
Service
downloaded it and wanted to play it,
guarantees?
and they ran into an issue trying to get into a server. But I play a lot more of like survival based games of like DayZ or things like that, and so that's kind of my niche. I do play Call of Duty.
Loser.
Well,
I mean, hey, if you like, dude,
It's
I mean, you're a
fun-ish.
friend, so I wouldn't
It's
want you
got-
to do black tar heroin. But if people want to go home and do black tar heroin, go
would-
ahead.
no,
if it
absolutely
doesn't
not.
affect anybody else, do whatever you
I don't
want.
condone that. I don't
As
care
long as
if
it doesn't hurt children or anybody else, I don't care what you do. But no, that's what my point is, like, if you like Call of Duty, then play Call of Duty. That's fine. It's just not for me. I think I used to be pretty good when I was in college, and so like the fact that I just get just mopped
Oh, dude.
is so frustrating.
Oh, it's
like,
funny.
I want to break stuff.
Completely off topic, but I love it. I was talking to a friend of mine. And it's someone I've met probably a year ago, and I've been playing Call of Duty with him for about a year. And I have a couple of videos from 4 or 5 years ago. He goes, dude. He goes, you used to be so good. And I sat there and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, that's
Thanks,
almost an
asshole.
insult.
Yeah.
And I was like, but at the same time, like everything's evolved from where it was. And I've
Yeah.
been playing Call of Duty since the very first Call of Duty,
Yeah.
like the very first. And
Yeah,
I'm
the
sitting there
World
thinking
War II
to myself-
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, man, you know what? There was a time when I consider myself to be probably really, really good.
Yeah, I definitely peaked in college.
As I say nowadays, man, there's a bunch of they're kids.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah, I
that
know.
make me look
They're like children.
horrid.
Yeah.
And
Well, and it's so intense. The sensitivity's so high. I remember back when I played, I would adjust the sensitivity a little bit to where you could
Hey,
like
Dylan.
scan faster, but the fact they got PCs and stuff, it like playing with consoles is ridiculous. And I like my little brother watches streamers all the time. I don't, but
I know.
and like I don't get motion sickness.
Yeah.
But they're so fast and
Yeah,
like
there's-
it's insane.
there's some of those guys
there's no
that
way I would ever be able to keep up with it.
There's some of those guys I watch, and I've watched tutorials where they go through their settings and stuff, and I've seen like some of their DPIs and how I'm just like, I can't.
I don't know what any of that means, but
How fast the mouse moves.
I know that the new Call of Duty had, because I like the campaigns still.
Yeah.
I still play the campaigns. I went over to my little
Yeah.
brother's house and played for like a couple hours of the day. It's like probably 6 months ago on the newest one, and it's not bad. But
I mean, a couple of hours is all it was.
yeah, that's what I heard. They were very. I heard the new campaign
But at the
was
same,
terrible.
you know what's funny about that? The funny thing about that is, as much as everybody complains about how short the campaign was, that's exactly what we asked for. We asked for better multiplayer and shorter campaign.
Yeah.
And they gave us that, and we still complained. Just
Yeah.
saying. Not to get in on
I
the-
heard the new zombies is really good. That's all I heard.
Oh, I love the new zombies.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
No,
But-
I don't like that there's a timer to it, but other than that, it's good.
Yeah, the whole point was just as many rounds because that again, college, we would get four of us.
Oh, dude.
4 of us in a room or 2 on 2.
Here you go, let me
two
ask
and
you-
2 on console.
Let me ask you this: what's the
Online.
highest round you've ever made it to?
30, 40 something probably, maybe
Oh,
higher.
that's disappointing.
Yeah, but dude,
That's upsetting.
yeah, we weren't like dedicated. We would
That's-
play that after class all day. We would just joke around.
That's upsetting. I don't even.
Well,
I don't
I
even
think
want to say
actually,
mine
yeah, the fact that is super nerdy. But the one where it was the White House with the JFK Cold War era, there was a door frame you could jump up onto.
Yeah.
And so as long as we had somebody that could go for like ammo or whatever, we went pretty far on that one. But yeah, I'm like 90 something probably.
now. You're not even.
Triple digits,
Yeah.
dude.
Highest I've ever made it is 222.
That's insane.
It was 12 and a half hours.
Did you like pee on the floor? Like what
no,
did you?
we took it's the same thing. There's little places you can hide that you can mantle, and it makes you immune. So
That is
if you had to go to
insane.
the bathroom and go get something to eat, you go get your character would go put up in that, and
Dude,
then
we would throw a grenade and try to maim one of the zombies
Yeah.
so they would blow a leg off, and
make a crawler.
yeah, and then they would
We
wander
did the same
around.
thing. We'd
and
get the
then-
one guy.
Dude, that's way too
circles.
much work.
No,
Like a couple hours tops, and then we're like, all right, let's go.
No.
Let's go drink and chase women.
like I said, dude,
That's what I
avid
did in
gamer
college,
here.
man. Yeah. No. I remember we would have, like, this is probably a little behind the curtain, but we would have friends over to play Call of Duty, and then, like, some of the girls that we would go out with, they were like, hello.
Yeah.
And we're playing, and I'm like, one more game. And
I've had that. I've had that.
But we finally put the controller down. Yeah.
No, I've done. I'm not saying I sat there every week.
200 and whatever. That's
229.
yeah, that's insane. Doesn't feel like you suck at everything.
Yeah, no, there was a couple of moments where one of the girl I was dating at the time, we were playing.
Yeah,
and I
like,
think we were
hello,
like,
I'm a girl.
yeah,
Pay
we were like
attention
30,
to me.
35 in or something like that, and I get this tap on my shoulder, and I look over and I'm like, oh, hi. So when did you get here? She's like, I've been here the whole time.
They
and
would,
I'm like,
they would play
I
drinking.
gotta go.
Me and my buddy would play split screen in my room, and then my roommate would have my other buddy. They would play split screen, so four of us would play online together. And the girls would make drinking games to like comments we would yell,
Yeah.
like freaking camper or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they would try to find fun in it because they would want us to leave sooner. And we're like, no, we got to get like an hour of COD in, and then we'd go to the bars or whatever, to the fraternity house. So those were good times. But yeah, I mean, I was really good back then, not anymore. So
Yeah, no,
I can't keep up with all these
level.
kids.
The level difference of these nowadays is just ridiculous.
that's right.
But I say other than that, I don't really have anything else. The biggest thing was going back to what we were talking about is managing those expectations.
Yeah.
If you guys ever have questions on that, or you guys need help with
Call
it,
of Duty Zombies.
reach out to us. Let us know. You know, we'll obviously give you the best advice that we can, but obviously we're not professionals at that. We struggle on our own rights.
Yeah.
So we'll always help you guys the best we can.
We'll always be honest with you. That's the most important
Amen
thing.
to that. So we're gonna hop over here into the weather. So what we're looking at.
I did notice the sun started coming out
It
as
did.
we're in here. It looks
So we're
really
looking
nice out.
at 66 on Tuesday and sunny, 69 on Wednesday. Thursday we're looking at 62, Friday 61, Saturday 64, Sunday 71, Monday 74, Tuesday 67. So we're getting back into that warmer temperatures where we're in those mid 60s. So hopefully we'll start seeing a little bit more of that. What do we, fall? No, this would be spring, right? Spring.
Yeah, it's winter.
I'm ready for
winter
it to be
into
back
spring.
again.
Yeah, that's
this-
why my wife and I were joking about that.
It's getting back into the spring weather, so remember to dress appropriately. Keep your eye on the weather conditions. With it being spring, there will be more monsoons and rain and stuff like that, so keep an eye on that stuff. Other than that, kind of let you guys get back to enjoying your Mondays.
Hydration.
And don't forget, hydration is key. Hydration is the day before, not the day of. So other than that, guys, we're going to let you get back to it. We appreciate it so
Take
much.
care.
We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, so thank you so much. Again, we appreciate it. Have a good one, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Have
Thanks.
a good day.